My name is Dimitra. I'm the events manager for Mauve Group, and today we're going to continue our educational series, Taking Your Business Global in 10 Steps. It's been a long journey so far with a lot to research and a lot to think about, but we're nearing the final stage of your global expansion planning, and hopefully by now you've established that there's a good niche for your product in your country of choice. This week, in step 9, choosing the right type of entity, I'll help you to understand the entity type or in-country presence that best suits the specifics of your business, and I'll define what is meant by the alternative option, the employer of record solution. Every organization is individual, so there's no specific blueprint that's been written for the considerations of your company, which is why you have to look back at all the stages of the planning that we've covered so far, especially step 1, where we spoke about your existing company audit, and step 2, where we covered your goals for expansion. Now, beyond that, of course, there will be some further research into the different options that are available in your chosen country of expansion in order to ensure that you're choosing the right type of entity or local presence to fit your circumstances, and that you're not tying yourself to an ill thought out venture. After you've gone back and looked at all the stages that we've covered so far, especially steps 1 and 2, as I mentioned earlier, there are 2 more things to think about, and I'm going to talk about them now. First of all, understanding the aims of the entity. The aims and functions of the new company will have a bearing on the type of entity that you choose. So for example, if the requirement of the business is just to market a product or other non-transactional operations, you may choose a representative office. A taxable presence in the country will likely warrant the setup of a branch or subsidiary. Moving on to the second thing you should think about, which is testing the waters. So last time in step 8, I mentioned that some companies might just be interested in dipping their toe into the new market without the full commitment of an entity. So if you too are feeling risk averse and not fully confident about developing your business abroad just yet, decide whether you realistically need to place your organization physically on the ground, or if there's an alternative you can use to test the waters first. Operating online may be a good initial strategy, or if you need staff in country, then utilizing an employer of record before an entity is established may also be possible. Okay, so now you've thought about the aims and functions of your new company, and you've decided whether you want or need to commit to an entity, or whether the best option is to just test the waters first. First of all, I'm going to talk about those who have decided to set up a physical entity in the new location. There are a number of different types of local in-country entities that you can utilize with varying benefits, such as a limited liability company, a public liability company, a joint venture, a registered office for tax, a branch, or a subsidiary. Ascertain which option is available to you locally and which option best suits the scope of your operations. You can also source a reputable global business services provider to advise you on the best route available. And these providers can normally also assist to actually set up the entity. Moving on, let's now look at the other side, the alternative option that is available for those who have chosen not to set up an entity. As I mentioned earlier, a great option for these companies is a service called employer of record, which is also known as professional employment outsourcing or co-employment services. A third-party organization such as Mauve Group, specializing in global workforce solutions, can provide this type of service. So what is an employer of record? An employer of record solution compliantly employs a company's workers in countries where their own local entity is lacking, where it doesn't exist, where just like the group of companies we're talking about now, they have chosen not to set up an entity in these locations. An employer of record provider will take on the local employment and HR tasks whilst the client retains day-to-day management of their worker. Now, an employer of record provider is able to do this because they have representative offices in different locations around the world. And in this case, of course, it would be in the location where their client is expanding. This avoids the necessity to establish your own entity in a new country, yet you still retain control over your employees' activities. There's a lot more you can learn about the employer of record solution. So I'll give you some more information down below. I'll give you some links to articles and videos that we've created, which goes into a lot more depth about this type of service. And we also tell you about the myths and misconceptions. And that concludes step 9, choosing the right type of entity. Next time, in the final installment of this series, we will be drawing this journey to a close as we break down how to find the external partnerships and local support system that you will need to make a long-term success of your overseas business beyond launch. So join me next time for step 10, sourcing expert partners, consultants, and support. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe and take care.